A star in the making. Game 5 of the World Series. Trey Yesavage, bottom 7, facing Freddie Freeman. That strikeout number 12. The most by a rookie in a World Series game all time. And then an inning-ending double play to end his outing. Trey Yesavage with an absolute gem. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, no walks, 12 strikeouts. Again, the most strikeouts by a rookie in a World Series game all time. 11 of the 12 strikeouts were swinging. And now the Blue Jays improved to 7-1 all time in games started by Trey Yesavage. This was just his 8th career start, regular and postseason. And now they're just 1 win away from their first World Series title since 1993. All right, back here with Bobby B, Will Middlebrooks, and Lewis Brinson. And Will, the Blue Jays are 1 win away from a World Series title thanks to Trey Yesavage, who re-established the splitter, which is what we were calling for pregame, and he was spectacular. What did you see?
Trey the Savage. I think we changed that during the game. You know, and he still threw the slider a lot. Right? He got 10 swings. He got a ton of swing and miss on that. The splitter was back, though. And he wasn't just throwing it for chase. He's throwing it for strikes. The slider, though, dominated, which I thought we didn't talk about as much or watching it because all of a sudden the splitter was back. But it didn't matter because he had all 3 pitches that were dialed in.
I mean, 12 strikeouts for Trey the Savage. I'm going to call him Trigger Trey because this man was lights out today. Execution of his splitter, execution of his slider. Didn't really need the fastball. Fastball was kind of just I have a fastball pitch.
Show me.
A show me pitch, if you will. But shutting down the key guys you needed to shut down. Shohei, Will Smith, Mookie, and Freddie Freeman. I mean, this guy came out with the mentality of, I'm going to put this city, like I said in the beginning, in the pregame, I'm going to put this city, I'm going to put this team on my back. I know you guys have my back. I know John Schneider believes in me, and this is why John Schneider is comfortable putting him in these situations, man. He goes out there and just does his thing, trusts his stuff, and he went out there and dominated another good lineup today, man. What a start by him.
You wish you had this kid on one of your rosters.
Every roster. Everyone would wish, right? And what we've seen is a real situation with Snell pitching against a rookie. Then Snell's trying to preserve his reputation because this is the reputation series, right? This is that one that gets what people thinking what they think about you, right? So he was trying to preserve his reputation, and the kid was trying to establish his reputation. And Trey sure in hell did that.
Yeah, he did.
Absolutely. You mentioned the top of the lineup. Dodgers 1 through 4 went 1 for 15 with 8 strikeouts in this game. Wow. And if you're keeping track, we are keeping track. The Dodgers have scored just 4 runs in the last 29 innings.
That's not good.
No, that is not good.
Guys,
not
let's face
at
it,
all.
they look dead.
Yes.
I don't know if it's 18 innings, the boredom of being in the playoffs every year, the layoff, whatever it is. There is no life or energy.
The body
in that
language
group.
is awful.
Absolutely.
Awful. You watching Freddie Freeman on deck just kind of hanging his head. I know it's 6-1, but this is the World Series. There's still a lot of baseball to play.
This is weird to see from a Dodger team that, again, has been there, done that. These guys, like you said, they look defeated as a team. I mean, only bright spot tonight was Kike Hernandez and that ball deep, but like these guys look a little defeated, and it's so surprising to see this. But again, it's just death by 1,000 cuts by this Blue Jay lineup and this pitching staff and this bullpen. Like, these guys just don't go away. It's like a gnat. They're like gnats. They just don't go away. Ernie Clement, big swing by Vlad again tonight. Bo Bichette.
Barger moving the guy over.
Barger, we didn't even talk about Barger. Barger moving the guy over when the guy got to second base on a wild pitch, and then taking 2 bases on some wild pitches. Dirt ball reads. I mean, knowing the situation and knowing my run counts. You need every single run.
Amen.
This Dodger lineup hasn't gotten going so far, but again, you never know. They're 1 swing, 1 inning, 1 big inning away from getting going, and you just can't stop this Blue Jay team right now.
But what it really looks like is they are competing more than the Dodgers are.
Absolutely.
That they're into the competition.
Looks like they want it more.
They're just doing it, you know?
They're just playing the game,
That's
right? Like
what
the
we
Dodgers,
see.
it feels like there's one way. Like they go deep, they beat you. Toronto's finding 6, 7 different ways. You like that? I mixed that in. 6, 7 different ways to beat you, but they're running the bases.
The kids are like
it's productive outs. They're not just swinging for they'll take their singles. And like you said, death by 1,000 cuts. That's it.
Yeah.
Good to see, isn't it? Nice brand of baseball.
Yes, it is.
Well, it's a nice brand of baseball because what happened in Game 5 of last year's World Series, the Dodgers making the Yankees make plays. The Yankees didn't make plays. The Blue Jays flipped the script here. You saw this was some sloppy baseball. Mookie Betts with a bad throw, a ball in front of Teoscar, the uncorked wild pitches. It just didn't look like sound baseball, and the Blue Jays take advantage here of some sloppy Dodger baseball that we do not see out of this team.
Well, it's amazing what happens when you just put the ball in play and you put pressure on a defense because you run the bases hard. You work counts. You know they're going to put the ball in play, so you always got to be tense and be ready. It matters. It's an old school style of baseball that has become unfamiliar with baseball now.
Hard to measure it because it's not a data point.
Bingo.
I want to take you back to the first pitch of the game.
Oh, man.
And then the third pitch of the game. Davis Schneider, leadoff homer. Then 2 pitches later, it's Vladdy Guerrero Jr., back-to-back homers for him in this World Series. 8 in this postseason for him. 3 pitches into the game, and it's 2-0 Toronto. And we talked about how Blake Snell needed to reestablish himself in his last 2 starts, 0-2, 10 runs, 14 hits. His first 3 starts, 3-0, 2 runs, 6 hits. Lewis, this is what you did not want if you were Blake Snell trying to reestablish the fastball. The fastball left the ballpark before we could even sit down in our seats.
Two times.
In my opinion, the game was lost there. In those first 2 pitches or 3 pitches. But you saw the Blue Jays again make the adjustment. We know that Blake Snell needed his fastball command back. And we know that he didn't have it in Game 1. We know what spot he's going to go to. That goes to what we talked about as well in the hitters meeting. Hey, we as a team, we have an approach. The first couple batters, if he throws you that first, you know in that meeting, I've been in those meetings, hey, listen, this guy is such and such percentage, first pitch fastball, down the middle, first pitch of the game. Hey, Davis, you won't. You know what I'm saying? Like, in those meetings, hey, you won't take him deep first pitch of the game. Did that. Vladdy comes up, second pitch, exactly where he's looking to. We talk about Vladdy kind of struggling with that pitch. Let me get my hands inside. Let me send him bridge and get the boys going.
And by the way, they were good pitches.
Great
They were
pitches.
on the corner in. And after those pitches, this is what Blake Snell did with the game plan. It's out. Like, the game plan's over. Like, I can't throw. He threw 23%.
Scared him out of the zone with his fastball.
This is a 45 to 50% fastball guy. He couldn't throw it anymore.
We talked about it before the game.
We did.
They had it take the fastball away, and they took it away
Early.
quickly.
Quickly. And they needed to do that, and they did that. Executed to perfection by the Blue Jay hitters.
I want to remind you that the Blue Jays won both of these games without George Springer.
Yep.
Hey, listen.
I mean, I mean, this is team, and I don't want to get cute or cliche. This is team baseball.
Yeah.
This is team ball
Straight up.
at its finest. Bottom of the order guys stepping up. Your stars hitting clutch hits. Your pitchers making the right pitches in the right moment. The manager, John Schneider, in his first World Series, making the right decisions, not leaving a guy out too long in these last 2 games. Like, this is what fans of baseball that let's say you don't have a team in the fight here. You're not a Dodger or Blue Jay fan. You're a fan of the team game. Of course, we love to sell the stars. We love Ohtani. We love Vladdy. But you heard Schneider. It's not Vladdy against Ohtani. It's Los Angeles against Toronto. And part of me, and maybe I'm a little old school, but that's the romantic side of baseball that I've appreciated through these 5 games.
You're a little old school, and it's okay to appreciate that because that's called baseball.
That's the anomaly
it's okay,
in today's game.
believe me.
There's something to be said about everyone being on the same page, right? And it's cliche or not, you're playing for the name on the front of the jersey and not the name on the back. That's what you see from the Toronto Blue Jays. They just want to win.
But at the same time, they've been doing this all year. And you see John Schneider in press conferences, you see these guys, hey, listen, man, this is the team we have. This is the grindy team that we have. We're going to grind out at bats. We're going to be pesky on the base pass. We're going to play good defense, and we're going to fight for each other at the end of the day. Like, you go in that clubhouse after the game, they're probably giving a bunch of high fives, a bunch of hugs. These guys know each other off the field, on the field. Like, these guys are legit fighting for each other 1 through 9, and then the guys on the bench, they know what's going on as well. They still have to pay attention just in case their number is called, and when their number is called, we get in this game, all right, we know what to do, we know what our job is, and John Schneider believes in these boys, and he's been telling us, hey, we got a special group here, and they showed it tonight.
Yep. Again.
Oh, once again.
Yeah.
I want to put this in perspective. Toronto is 1 game away from becoming the first team to go from last place to winning the World Series title since Bobby V's 2012 Red Sox and Will Middlebrooks' 2013 Red Sox. From worst to World Series. And it's, Bobby, you're not worst, but that's just
Will was
the
on
fact.
both of those teams.
I was on both.
Credit. You got to get credit.
I was on both.
The fact that we have 2 men two men from both of those teams. You were there in 2012.
Yep.
You were on the title team in 2013. The Blue Jays have a chance to do what y'all did.
Yeah, it's like you're in the basement, right? You get picked. Nobody's picking the Blue Jays to even go to the playoffs this year. Even with the roster they have, they didn't think they would. They thought Baltimore would be a heck of a lot better. They knew the Red Sox were going to be better. They knew the Yankees would be the Yankees. No one was even looking at the Toronto Blue Jays, right?
It's just the Vlad controversy.
That was it.
Just, are they going to keep him? Let him go. What's the bad? That's what.
Right.
What
and
it
as
was
soon
all
as
about,
they signed
right?
him, he took off,
Yep.
and so did everyone else around him.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, man, this is what they've been all year. They've showed us our offense is potent. We have great pitching. Trey Yesavage just shows up out of nowhere. Now he's their best pitcher. He's their ace right now. He's the big game pitcher. I mean, and we always talked about this is a team without experience, and that's why they couldn't get past the Yankees, couldn't get past the Astros, couldn't get past all these great teams that have been there, done that. And now you have a bunch of guys that come together and play together and fight for each other. That's a big aspect.
Matters.
And now you come in and you play the Dodgers. Now you're up 3-2. And that first, I'm telling you what, game 1 was like, hey, guys, guess what? We just beat the Dodgers 11-4, guys. We got a chance. You know what I'm saying? We got a big chance. They knew it coming in this series.
Maybe their style of play is bigger than the lack of experience.
I think
right?
so, too,
You
yeah.
still have guys with experience. You have Springer, who's played 1 million postseason games.
Yeah.
So you have Scherzer in there, who's played 1 million postseason games. So the experience is in there, at least the voices. But their style of play is fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Before the season, the Blue Jays were listed at plus 6,500 to win the World Series.
I was going to take them.
If they pull it off, they would be the biggest preseason underdog to win the World Series since 2003 Marlins. Shout star David Sampson.
Shout out to my
Wait
fish,
to see-
baby.
Wait to see if the Blue Jays can pull it off.
They had a Yesavage, too, Josh Beckett.
Yeah. Trey Yesavage passing the great Don Newcomb, a Dodger himself. Most strikeouts by a rookie in a World Series game all time. Again, Yesavage was a savage. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, no walks, 12 strikeouts. The Blue Jays with a 3-2 series lead, 1 win away from their first title since 1993. Trey Yesavage, have a day, kid. He was a savage. Trey Yesavage, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, no walks, 12 strikeouts. Trey Yesavage, the most strikeouts by a rookie in a World Series game all time. He punches out 12. 11 of the 12 are swinging. Yesavage getting 23 swings and misses, most in a World Series game under pitch tracking. Yeah, we track that stuff, and we're also tracking Toronto back to Toronto. But for now, we head back out to Los Angeles, welcoming former MLB Executive of the Year and CBS Sports Baseball insider Jim Bowden. Jim, I'm watching this game, and I'm sitting there thinking, this kid is a star in the making, Trey Yesavage. 12 punch-outs, 11 of the 12 are swinging. He was able to reestablish that splitter. What did you see there in person?
Yeah, there were people that were questioning, why did he start game 1? Why did they pick him over Kevin Gausman when they could have started Gausman? Well, he answered to you in game 4, right? I mean, tonight on game 5, he was so dominant. 12 strikeouts, no walks, but how about the stuff, right? 97-mile-an-hour fastball. That slider, unhittable. right? He got more swing and misses on the slider than any other time in his life. How about the split finger? No chance to hit that pitch, a wipeout pitch. He threw any of those 3 pitches at any count, at any time, against any hitter. And there were times where, like as a hitter, you knew what he was going to throw, and you still had 0 chance to hit it. This was one of the most dominant pitching performances I've ever seen. You know, when you see where he releases the ball with a high overhand delivery, it has such great downward plane. It is so difficult to pick up. And you have 3 pitches like that. I mean, look, an ace was born earlier in the playoffs when he punched out 11. But tonight what he did was solidify what he is. He's a future Cy Young Award candidate. He is the present ace and the future ace of the Toronto Blue Jays for years to come. And think about this. This was his 5th postseason starts. He's only had 3 regular season starts. He was that good. And oh, by the way, let's talk about the defense behind him.
Yep.
Addison Barger's diving catch in right field. I mean, this Toronto defense is so elite every single night. They are so consistent. They have a plus defender all over the field, and that makes the pitching even better.
Yeah, when you see what Trey Yesavage is able to do, it makes you go, well, they also got an outing from Yamamoto. So where is Toronto going to get something like that? Well, they get it in Trey Yesavage, and Blake Snell was ineffective for the 2nd straight start as they jump on him in the first 3 pitches of the game, Jim. It's Davis Schneider on pitch 1, and then it's Vladdy 2 pitches later. He was trying to reestablish his fastball command, and he didn't have it from the jump.
Yeah, you know, I'm glad you brought that up because he actually made it public what he wanted to do in this game, right?
Yep.
He wanted to establish fastball, the fastball command. It was public. So what do you think Davis Schneider and Vladdy Daddy did to start the game? They hunted fastball. That's what they did. First pitch of the game, Schneider was looking for the fastball. He got one, and it wasn't in a bad location, but he knew it was going to be a fastball. He hunted it. Home run, 1-0. 2 pitches later, Vladimir Guerrero, again, not that bad of a location, but he was looking for it. Boom, 2-0. And then what did Blake Snell do? Then he adjusted, right? Then we're mixing in the changeup, the curveball, and the breaking stuff. But it was already 2-0. And basically the game was already over after those first 2 batters. So give the Blue Jays credit for their game planning against Snell to start the game.
I'm not going to count the Los Angeles Dodgers out of the World Series down 3-2 because they could flip a switch. But it doesn't look like they can flip a switch because they have only scored 4 runs in the last 29 innings, Jim. They're top of the lineup 1 through 4 on this night in Game 5. We're 1 for 15 with 8 strikeouts. I have yet to see anything that gives me belief that the Dodgers can go to Toronto and win 2 in a row. What would you say, standing there in L.A., knowing that the Dodgers could potentially do this?
Yeah, I would tell you this. All year long, the Dodgers, to me, have been streaky, right? They lose a bunch of games. You wonder about them. Then all of a sudden, they win a whole bunch, just like they did against the Reds and the Phillies and the Brewers to get here. They're very streaky. Where on the other side, the Blue Jays have been really consistent all year. I mean, they play sound, fundamental baseball, you know, on a consistent basis, even when they're losing games. That's not the case with the Dodgers. But are they capable, L.A., of going to Toronto? Yeah, their ace, Yoshi Yamamoto, will be on the mound for that game. He's the only Dodgers starter that made 30 starts in the regular season. He was their most consistent starter. Is he capable of beating Toronto in Game 6 and force a Game 7? Absolutely. There are the things that are concerning. Mookie Betts still only has 3 hits in this World Series. That's concerning. And I think the other thing that you learn about teams when you get to the World Series is whatever weakness you have, it shows up, right? The bottom of the order for the Dodgers, they sat Andy Pages, they put in Alex Call, okay, but there's just never traffic when Ohtani comes up. That's a weakness, and it shows up. The bullpen, you know, I mean, what was his decision tonight? It was still close when he brought Henriquez in. It was Henriquez he decided to bring in this game. Why? Because he doesn't like any of his options, Hakeem. So, again, when you look at the Dodgers, and how about the play in right field when Teoscar Hernandez dove for a ball that he shouldn't have, should have gotten in front of the ball, right? That costs you a run. But, again, whatever weakness you have as a team, it seems to always show up in the World Series. And for the Dodgers, the 3 weaknesses are what? Bullpen, bottom of the order, and defense in a couple of spots, and all of them showed up in this game tonight.
Yeah, we were talking about that. You remember last year's Game 5 of the World Series. The weakness was present for the Yankees, and the Dodgers benefited from that. And here the Blue Jays flipped the script, and they're able to generate traffic on the base paths, generate runs. We saw Addison Barger with a ball in the dirt, hustling to second, getting to third, scoring on a wild pitch, doing the little things to win games, which is one reason why Toronto had the best record at home in all of baseball, including the playoffs. So going into Rogers Center, this is a tall order for Yamamoto, and I know he shut him down with a complete game with 1 run, but this is a tall task going into Toronto and winning 2 in a row. When you look at this series where it's at now, 3-2 Blue Jays, and I don't know if anybody outside of Toronto would have predicted that it would be 3-2 Blue Jays heading to Toronto. Maybe some people had it. I didn't have it. It's incredible to see what they've done. But what's also impressive here, Jim, is they've won the last 2 games without George Springer. What's the latest you're hearing on him potentially coming back? Because we saw him kind of rummaging around in the dugout tonight, maybe getting on base, maybe pinch hitting.
Yeah, he was going to pitch run from what I could understand. He was ready to go. And the vibe I'm getting from the Blue Jays is they believe he'll be ready for Game 6. I think we have to wait and see what happens on the flight home, what happens on the day off. How does he swing the bat before Game 6? But I do think there's a shot that he could DH in Game 6. That's why they didn't replace him on the roster. They kept saying hour to hour, day to day. They mean it. And so I'm kind of optimistic that he could be back in the lineup. But the one thing I want to throw also about this Blue Jay team, they don't have any weaknesses up and down that lineup. There isn't a spot in the lineup where you say, oh, that player's an out, or I can pitch to that guy. I mean, Ernie Clement's got 25 hits this month. 25 hits. I mean, it's up and down the lineup. They make contact. They put the ball in play. They're elite defensively all over the field. And, you know, they may not have the star power the Dodgers have, but they also don't have the weaknesses that the Dodgers have. They don't have those holes in the lineup. They don't have the holes on defense. They don't have the holes in the bullpen, for that matter. And I think that's why Toronto's sitting there with a 3-2 lead with a legit shot now of winning a world championship in Canada for the first time since 1993 when Joe Carter walked it off.
It is poetic. It is romantic. We head back to Toronto for Game 6. Game 7, if necessary. 2 games, that's what the Dodgers need here as they head north of the border if they want to run it back. The Blue Jays 1 win away from a first title since 1993. Jim Bowden here with us on CBS Sports HQ. Jim, thank you.
Thanks again.
Game 6 coming your way Friday night in Toronto from Rogers Center. It will be rocking. Blue Jays with 104 wins this season, including the playoffs. Look at the last couple of times they had 103 and 104 wins. And look, you need to win this many games to win a World Series. It's compiling. So, but to put it into perspective, you win this many games, you win a World Series. Last time they won 103 and 104 games, they won it all. And now they're 1 win away from winning it all.